9 Part B. Amir wants to test this hypothesis. Balls bounce higher on concrete than on wood. Use the data handling cycle to write a plan for Amir. Now in the data handling cycle we need to mention, it's worth 3 marks, we need to mention the collecting data stage, so that we will collect data. We then need to mention that we will process the data, and then that we will interpret the data. So we're testing the hypothesis that balls bounce higher on concrete than on wood. So the first section, for the collect, we need to make a statement that we would do an experiment of bouncing a ball on wood and concrete. Do the experiment 20 times to get a reasonable set of results. And we can link back to question 9 Part A here, because in that they did 20 times to bounce the ball. So collect for the process, for the processing the data, we'd need to mention either a graph or working out an average. So because in question 9 Part A we've shown a frequency polygon, it'd be a good idea to show the data in a frequency polygon. So we would show the results on a frequency polygon, so essentially there we need to mention a suitable graph, or you could say calculate the average, in this case would be the mean height. So you don't need to mention both of those, you can either mention a frequency polygon or calculating average height. So that's the processing stage. The interpret stage, we would have to write a statement that we would compare either the 2 graphs or 2 average heights. And this would link us back to the original hypothesis, that we're giving it some context. They're actually saying compare the 2 graphs or the 2 average heights for concrete and wood. So that is effectively the data handling cycle. We collect data, we process the data, and then we interpret data. It's always good to look back, see if there's a previous part of the question, give it the context of an experiment, do the experiment 20 times, use the frequency polygon, because we'd already drawn one in question 9A, what was drawn for us, or you could have said calculate the average mean height. You don't need to show both a graph and the calculation. It's a good idea to put both in, but you don't have to. It has to be a suitable graph. A suitable graph that you mention that you will show your results on. And again, the interpreting stage is the word compare, comparison of 2 sets of data, which will link you back to the original hypothesis.